Did you know that in 2008, one engineer in Pakistan accidentally broke YouTube for the entire world? Buckle up, because this tale has everything: BGP hijacking, routing mishaps, and a reminder why we should never configure routers when we're sleepy. Picture this. It's February 24th, 2008. YouTube looked like this. Rage comics were booming, and somewhere in Pakistan, an engineer was about to have a very, very bad day. Before we dive into our story, let's talk about BGP, the Border Gateway Protocol. Think of BGP as the GPS system of the internet, but instead of telling you how to get to Starbucks, it tells internet traffic how to get anywhere in the world. See, the internet isn't just one big network. It's thousands of smaller networks called autonomous systems, or AS for short. These could be ISPs, big companies, universities, and they all need to talk to each other. That's where BGP comes in. BGP is like a bunch of networks playing a giant game of telephone, but with routing information. Each network tells its neighbors, "Hey, I can get you to these destinations." And those neighbors pass that information along. It's based on trust, which, as we're about to see, can sometimes be a problem. First, let's talk about how traffic flows on the internet. Imagine you're a postal worker, but instead of street addresses, you're working with IP addresses. You have a big book of directions. That's your routing table. When a package comes in, you look up where it needs to go in your book. But here's the catch. Sometimes multiple entries in your book might match the address. That's when you use what we call longest prefix match. Think of it like having multiple matching addresses. You'll pick the most specific one. So, what happened in 2008? Well, Pakistan wanted to block YouTube within their borders. Honestly, they're real for that. To do this, they used BGP to reroute their internal traffic to a big "No YouTube for You" sign. But here's where things went wrong. This new routing broadcast accidentally got leaked through an ISP in Hong Kong, called PCCW. PCCW should have verified whether Pakistan Telecom owned these IP addresses, but they didn't. And since lots of ISPs trusted PCCW's routing information, this incorrect route spread like wildfire. The reason everyone accepted this new route comes down to the longest prefix match algorithm we discussed. Pakistan used a super-specific subnet, /24, which was more specific than YouTube's normal routing prefixes. So when routers had to choose between YouTube's regular route and Pakistan's more specific one, they followed the rulebook and picked Pakistan's route every time. It's like a doorman letting a pizza delivery guy in because he knows the exact apartment number, even though he's at the wrong building. Even worse, now everyone in the entire world trying to access YouTube was being redirected to Pakistan Telecom. So not only was YouTube inaccessible globally, but Pakistan's internet infrastructure got completely overwhelmed trying to handle all that traffic. So how did they fix this global YouTube blackout? Well, it took a combination of quick thinking and good old-fashioned networking basics. YouTube fought back by advertising even more specific routes for their IP addresses. Remember our pizza delivery analogy? It's like YouTube saying, "No, we're really the ones who deliver to apartment 3B. We even know what color the doormat is." They also reached out to major internet providers to manually block the false routes from Pakistan. It's like calling all the post offices and saying, "Hey, that other person claiming to be us? Yeah, they're not us." PCCW and Pakistan Telecom eventually withdrew the incorrect routes, and slowly but surely, cat videos started flowing freely again. So what can we learn from this catastrophic oopsie? 1. Always double-check your BGP configurations, especially when tired. 2. More specific routes aren't always better routes. 3. The internet runs on trust, maybe a bit too much trust. 4. Network security is everyone's responsibility. One ISP's mistake can affect the whole internet. 5. Having an incident response plan is crucial. YouTube's quick response saved the day. And finally, documentation matters. Knowing who owns which IP ranges should be clear and verified. Remember, in networking, just like in life, sometimes the smallest typo can cause the biggest chaos. And hey, if you're ever having a bad day at work, just remember, at least you didn't accidentally break YouTube for the entire planet.